Welcome, everyone. This is Mrs. Johnson, your online instructor for HIMT 1360. So this is an introductory video to your course, and it's very important that you watch this video in its entirety because we will be covering important material related to your assignments, your homework that is important for you to be successful in this class. Now, the first thing I want to emphasize is the material that you'll need to participate in this class. The course requires not only an online or a hard copy of a textbook, but it also you need to have an access code for MindTap, which is a software system that we use with the course. You cannot participate in the class without the MindTap access code for the homework. Now, MindTap is needed for your coursework and other things that we'll cover in just shortly. You can get a package deal from the bookstore here at Wiregrass or from the publisher. Now, if you can't afford to get the book right away or MindTap right away, which is an access code, the publishers do give out a temporary access for a limited time. Now, just keep in mind that it'll shut off at some point and you'll have to pay for it in order to keep that access for your homework and also to have access to an ebook. So I want to first start out with what this class is about. Now, this course goes into great detail about diseases, their effects on the body system, and the medications taken for those diseases. And it also goes into detail about pharmaceuticals and drug classifications, contraindications, adverse reactions, routes of administration, and just overall way that drugs may affect each of the body systems. Hopefully you'll find this all interesting because in your future job as a HIM professional, you'll be analyzing patient records and seeing a lot of this information, and you need to be familiar with it. I want to start off with showing you how to navigate in Blackboard for this class where everything is located. Now, I'm in Blackboard now, and I want to start out at the top of the course. We're currently in the content area. We have our calendar, our announcements in this area, our discussions, our grade book, and groups tabs. Now, we will not be using the groups tab. The course content, which is where we are now, has all of these are, well, they're considered modules, but in this course, they're actually considered units. So all of these boxes are units. They're a little bit backwards from the other courses that we have here at Wiregrass. So within the units are the modules, and your textbook references the chapters as modules. This course has 8 units and a final exam. Now, I leave all of the units open. I only have the homework folders and the units exams closing and opening at specific dates. This way, you can continue to review throughout the summer, studying all of your information, because there is PowerPoint lectures as well within these units. That you can continue to review until the very end and to prepare for your final exam. If you and let me show you how this works, because if you when you open them up, you'll see your assignment sheet, and this is just a discussion. If you want to tell, I started it off by telling a little bit about myself. Now, it's not mandatory. If you want to respond, you can. You don't have to, but just keep in mind that if you do respond in anything under this discussions tab, that everyone in the classroom will see it. Everyone that's enrolled in this class can see it. So if you need to have something private that you need to discuss between you and I, then make sure that you email me privately. And then it goes on to the PowerPoints, lectures, and other learning material. In this area, you will have your actual unit lecture. And again, this is going to be open throughout the semester for you to review at any time. But I highly suggest that you review these lectures in order to prepare for your exams in this class. There's some reading material here. There's also a really useful tools. They have the flashcards that you can use. MindTap does, and again, you have to have that access code in order to be able to access MindTap. It's not going to let me get in because I'm going to have to log in. I'm not going to do that at this time, but just take my word for it. It's there. And then as well as it has a lot of different learning tools in this area that you can use and utilize. Knowledge checks, presentations, reading, a lot of different things that will help you memorize a lot of this information that you'll need, not only for your exams, again, for your future in this particular field. Now, as far as the due dates are concerned, the due dates are the same as the unit exams. And if you hover over where it says content isn't available, it gives you the open and close dates, and then as well as the due date. Now, I don't have the due date set up for the homework. Just keep in mind the homework is due because the homework is linked to MindTap. And in MindTap, it has the due dates available there. So just keep in mind that the due date for your unit exam and your homework is due on the same day for that particular unit. And those dates are on the calendar as well. And the calendar and those due dates should be the same. If they're not, please make sure that I'm aware of it. You can email me directly, please, and do so. But all of those dates are on your calendar. All of your due dates are on your calendar. Again, here's this tab is for announcements. So if there's any kind of changes to your course or anything changes to your schedule, it'll be posted under announcements, and it'll also be emailed to you directly. And again, this is the discussion board, and then the gradebook is where that you will find all your homework assignments and your grades. And now it doesn't have in there, it will be linked to it eventually. When you go in and sign up for MindTap, you will have your homework assignment linked in the gradebook area as well, but you have to be signed up to MindTap in order for it to link in. Okay, so I want to go back to the Contents tab and go back to the Start Here tab and give you a little information on that, and also giving you some information on setting up MindTap. All right, so let's start at the top with the Start Here tab with the Welcome and Getting Started. Now this is where your syllabus is located at, and also your schedule. And I highly recommend that you print out both of those, because if something happens and you need information for someone's phone number, it could be located in the syllabus. My information would be located in the syllabus, so you could get in touch with me, and also my email address is located there as well. So if something happens to your computer, you have easy access to it. And then as well, the schedule, you can check those off as you go along, as you do your assignments, and as you utilize your study material, you can check those off on your schedule. Let's see. We'll come back to the schedule and the syllabus in just a moment. Now, if you click the next arrow, it's if you've never used, if this is your first Blackboard class, then you need to go through Blackboard orientation if you haven't done so yet. This is our distance education personnel, our online online folks that if anything happens, that you have any problems with Blackboard, then you need to contact these folks, which is on your syllabus as well, all their contact information as well. Let's see. This gives you some information about the lockdown browser that we only use for our exams. We do not use it for homework. And we'll be going over that information in just a few minutes. On our syllabus, we'll be going over that. Office 365, if you do not have Office 365 located on your computer, you can install it here as student access. You have access to it. Tutor.com, if you need access to a tutor, here's some information on that, but we'll go over that as well on our syllabus. And then Galileo is here, which is just an online resource for our library. And then we also have our library in-house that we'll go over as well on our syllabus. And then some other information there that you can look into at your convenience. Okay, this is just talking about the distance education team. If you have any problems with Blackboard. Work ethics. This is work ethics. Give me just a second here. Okay, so the work ethics and the rubrics, and you can read over all of this, how you get graded on your work ethics. But the work ethics, Wiregrass has put together a lot of things that employers look for in an employee. So, for instance, let me pull this up. For instance, attendance, productivity, teamwork, character, leadership, organization, communication is a big one these days. You have to know how to communicate with people and not be know how to not to criticize folks or even to be defensive or be offensive. And have respect and self-esteem, and the most important is dress professionally with good personal hygiene. Wiregrass has put together a work ethics grading system that somewhat mimics a performance evaluation in a workplace, and these are very important, especially if your future employer wants a transcript of your college records for verification purposes, and you want to make sure that all of this stuff is in order while you're attending classes here. Let's get out of this without. Okay. All right, so let's see, is that all of that? I believe that's it. Oh, and make sure that you confirm your course enrollment. You need to do this within the first 5 days. Do it right away, and make sure that you realize what you are agreeing to, that you want to stay enrolled in this class and you can plan to complete this class, which I'll go over some of this stuff in your syllabus in just a few minutes. And then setting up MindTap, make sure that you follow the instructions and read the instructions thoroughly before you get in here and start playing around with this stuff, okay? All right, so make sure that you read that, but it's a really easy process to do it. And you just read over those instructions before you actually click here to set up your actual MindTap account. All right, so I want to go back to the actual syllabus and let's go over that really quickly. Oops. Let me go ahead and open that up. Well, give it a few minutes here. All right, so this is, what do I know what is going on here? There we go. All right, you want to make sure that you print this out so you have all this information here in case something happens to your computer. You can get a hold of me. You have access to my information, my phone number here at Wiregrass, as well as my email address. Now, Denise Davis is going to be retiring soon. I just need to update that. But anyway, I'm the first contact. I'm the first person you need to contact if you have any issues or problems. And then if you can't resolve anything with me, then you can contact Dean Holly Green. This is an online class, summer of 2025. The last date of withdrawal is 6/28/25. And so in order to get a W grade, so if you withdraw after this date, you'll automatically receive an F. Or if you, of course, if you want more information on the W grade, you can read over the drop withdrawal policy. The textbook you'll need for this class is Pathopharmacology with MindTap. If you purchased a used book, the access code more than likely has been already used. So at that point, you'll need to contact the vendor, which is Cengage, and purchase MindTap separately. Now, of course, you can use that link and purchase MindTap separately through that link as well. But here's some information with the textbook that we're using, and this ISBN number is the package deal. Okay. Here's some information over the course requirements. It gives you information regarding the supported browser, which we prefer Chrome. Don't use Internet Explorer. And in this section, it has information on accessing Blackboard. And again, contact information regarding online services if you have issues with Blackboard. And you will, of course, need a webcam with a speaker and a microphone. Also, headphones are recommended. If you have any issues with Blackboard or technical issues, make sure to contact me along with online services. CC me in so that I know what's going on. This is another reason that you may want to print out that syllabus just for contact information. Again, for about the third or fourth time I've talked about that now. Sorry about that. The syllabus gives you instructions on what to do and who to contact, in other words. The course description and competencies is information on the content that will be covered in this class, which I covered some of it earlier. Grading and evaluation. Now, this table represents the homework assignments, the projects, exam, final exam, and the grading percentages that all add up to 100%. So when you submit your homework or test, sometimes Blackboard gives out a grade. Now, I want to assure you that I check every answer that Blackboard has flagged for incorrect. I do not start any grading for modules until after the due date units until after the due date has passed. I grade a unit at a time, and when I'm complete with that particular unit, I'll email you, I'll email everyone in the class to let you know that you can view your grade. Now, there's a couple of areas I want to emphasize on the syllabus. Assignments have to be submitted by the due date. There's no late work that's accepted. Now, any appeals for acceptance of late work or makeup exams has to be sent to the instructor in writing. That's me. This appeal must be received within 3 days of the due date. Appeals should only be filed in cases of extreme circumstance. Documentation must be submitted to support the circumstance. Examples of extreme circumstances include hospitalization or death in the immediate family. For you to be successful in this course, active attendance and participation is necessary. Makeup tests and makeup work will only be given to students who have their absences pre-approved by the instructor or who have a true emergency. Students taking online courses are required to have reliable off-campus computer and internet access. Now, you can come if you don't have, something happens, you don't have access, you can come to the library on campus and use their computers downstairs. Again, no late work will be accepted, and you'll receive a 0 if not turned in by the due date. Now, if something does happen and you contact me with an excused absence, you'll have the option of making up one chapter test at the end of the semester. Try not to miss more than one test, because if you miss more than one test, that will result in a 0 for that extra one that's missed, any that's missed. So any kind of missing assignments or exams can be detrimental to your grade, so try not to miss any. So this area also talks about appeals and the course of action you'll need to take if you want to appeal your grade. Please do not share information regarding tests or homework. This work is to be done individually. Any kind of academic dishonesty will result in a 0 for that assignment. And the next information is over Respondus Monitor, which we talked about a little bit earlier. And this information in this area is about how Respondus flags certain behavior for instructors to review. And there's step-by-step instructions in this up in the Start Here area. The next information is the grade scale. So we give out letter grades with the work ethics grade from 0 to 3. And it gives information on incomplete grades that you can go over at your convenience. The college attendance procedure talks about communication between the student and the instructor. If absenteeism is going to occur, if you're going to be out for any time period, it's your responsibility to contact me. Now down to course attendance and makeup policy. Next, you can view the attendance policy regarding online classes. Again, same thing we've been talking about. Also that you need to log in within the first 5 days of class or you'll be dropped from the class. It also talks about attendance and what to do in an emergency. And if you've never taken any online classes at Wiregrass, make sure to complete the Blackboard orientation. And that Blackboard orientation is not only for this class, but it prepares you for all of your classes. Drop withdrawal policy procedure. I want to emphasize this. If you confirm your course enrollment, that means that you're enrolled and you plan on taking the class. Once you confirm, I cannot drop you from a class. I don't have that authority. Only you have that authority. It's really easy to drop a class. You can do it online. You don't have to talk to anybody. You can read over the this area of the syllabus, and it'll give you information on that. Just make sure to check your handbook, or you can visit Wiregrass website on withdrawal procedures. Now, your code of conduct. Under this section, it covers some of the classroom conduct. Just remember, anytime that you're using those browsers, those webcams, this is considered classroom conduct. You're on camera, and I can see and hear everything. Using a cell phone or any other electronic device while you're testing is prohibited. This is considered classroom time, and this is your exam time, and you're not allowed to use any kind of electronic device or have it anywhere near you. So just don't go down that road. Work ethics grading policy. Again, a work ethics grade of 0 to 3 to be issued along with your letter grade at the end of the semester. It's placed on your permanent record. You have to remember that. I showed you earlier where the work ethics rubrics is located at. It's under the Start Here section. Academic honesty on cheating, plagiarism, and other dishonest bad behavior. I discourage you not to go down that road. Please don't share information regarding testing or homework, and this work is to be done individually. Now, our library support, this area covers information on our library services. We do have a library on campus, again, with computers for students to use. We have librarians that can assist you with research material if you need it. And again, we have Galileo, which is a virtual library for students to use as well. Our tutoring support, I showed you where online tutoring services are, but we also have in-person tutoring at numerous campuses where you can schedule an appointment to see a tutor, and all of these services are free to students. Our classroom accommodations, this area has information on students with documented learning disabilities. Any classroom or online accommodation needs to go through one of these folks. Our graduation warranty, you can look over that. If you need more information, you can contact Academic Affairs. Procedure, policy or procedure change, and this also goes for schedule changes. You'll get a notification through your email from me, and it will be posted on an announcement. Sometimes I'll post it on an announcement. If it's just a schedule change, I usually don't do an announcement with that. Now, if it changes the syllabus, I'll send you a new syllabus, or if it changes schedule, I'll send you a new schedule. Make sure to check your Blackboard regularly to get any make sure to check your email. I'm sorry, not your Blackboard. Check your email regularly to get any notifications from me. And I highly suggest you just download it, Outlook, on your phone so that you're getting emails from me, because I do send out emails quite often. Any grade appeals or grievances, any complaints about grades or grievances should first be discussed with me, your instructor. You can fill out a written appeal and send it to me within 10 business days of the grade being posted or a grievance. And further information is in this section and links to the forms needed for the written appeals. Now, student evaluations, at the end of the semester, you'll receive a link where you can evaluate the course and myself. Please fill these out. They're important for the success of the program. And these evaluations are anonymous, and I only see the overall statistical part of the answers. Statement of equal opportunity, and this is the last thing on the syllabus. If you have any issues or problems in this area, you can contact these folks that are here, that are listed here in this area. And you can actually read over the syllabus in detail. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. I'll be glad to help you out with that. Okay, so we're finished with the syllabus and we want to move on to the schedule next. Okay, so we talked about those. Let me see if I can download it. It's a little bit easier to read. Download a regional file. All right, so I talked about printing this out, but I do highly suggest that you print this out so that you have just an ongoing schedule that you can go by, and maybe you can check things off as you do them, and it might help you. And it also has all your due dates on there as well, and all your assignments that are due. And just notice that everything that is bolded on the schedule is items that are required for a grade. The rest of this is just learning stuff that you can do at your own pace, and that will help you with your exams, because these exams are very intense. And I promise you that if you think that you're going to go in without reading the chapter, without doing any studying, and without preparing for these exams, and think that you're going to try to pass one of these exams, you might have a big surprise. So it's very crucial that you do read over all of this material. And I don't care how much experience you have in the past. I've had nurses that actually have failed some of these exams. So RNs that have been in the field for quite some time that have failed some of these exams because they are quite intense. So make sure that you study the material, and you also make sure that I don't want to scare anybody by no means, But go in and just make sure that you study and do your diligence on that part. So anyway, all of your assignments are due on this date, and they're due by 11:59 on the due date. Everything, your exam, your assignments, and make sure that you get in there in ample time in order to take your exam before 11:59, because it's going to shut off and it'll submit for you. So make sure that you're aware of that. And is there anything else? Oh, there is one other thing. When you do click into Mind tab and you get into the homework, the review assignments, when you click in there, it's going to say something about it being a final exam. Ignore that part. This is only your homework assignments. So just ignore the part where it says something about final exam in there. So you'll not be accessing MindTap for any of the exams. All of the exams are in Blackboard when you click on it, so you'll see that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think all the information should be on your schedule. And there also look at like this has chapter 6 and 10 together. They're not in order, okay? So we're going to start out in order. We're going to start out with Module 1 and Module 2, Module 3 and Module 4, and by the time that you get to Module 3, it's going to be Module 5 and 9 together. So be aware of that and be mindful of that as you're going through your schedule. Now, and also your exams are timed, so make sure that you pay attention to that. And I think we're about finished up. I think that's all that I have for today. If you have any kind of questions, feel free to reach out to me, and good luck and have a great day.